Welcome back to Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts, where we do reactions, reviews, and commentary on the YouTube channels you love to watch. Guys, are you subscribed to this channel? If you're not, you need to be. Hit your notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a video, when I go live, and drop another video for you. Also, follow me on Instagram. That way you can keep up with what I'm doing, okay? If you enjoy channels like this and commentary, consider becoming a member. Otherwise, guys, Bougie Gang Gang, it's an open thing. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so you can participate in the chats. And I will see you next time I hit that live button. Okay? Take care. Bye. Hey guys, how are you?
You could be doing opposed to being on my page, bitch, cause I ain't got nothing for you nothing ass bitches.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. I have to check my calendar. I have to check all the time because I'm just like, what day is it? It's Thursday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing on this very crispy after a very rainy Wednesday? It was super duper rainy. Very wet and soggy. Yuck. Okay. Guys, we're gonna just jump right into it because this is a 2-hour video, and I'm gonna just let you know off top. We're probably not gonna watch it all. And hopefully we can make it through it without me having to switch my setup. But sis already ready just in case I got to. But it is, girl, it is what it is. At the end of the day, ISIS is back on the streets. Okay, girl. Sis, look, I'm sorry. From day one, you guys already know I really had a hard time believing anything she was saying. Just from more like my gut instinct, the story just wasn't adding up and the tears were too dry and all of the things. But she made her way to a podcast yesterday that some of you guys might know. These guys are called Hardly Initiated. And I dropped the link to the video in the comments. The comments are eating her up. And that's probably, probably just did spend some time there. And we don't know. It's possible. Did they actually stream? This was streamed last night, but I'm going to be honest. The streaming software will allow you to stream a pre-recorded video. So I am live right now. It is 9:22 a.m. on Thursday. But you can stream a pre-recorded video. So I don't know if this was live, or, just straight, whatever. you guys follow me, but people were in the comments talking to the guys, basically saying you guys need to do more research. This girl had something seems off. The host didn't ask the right questions. Story is too fragmented. Just also even doing a quick search to update what the status of these cases are, where there is actually no case against the father for any type of sexual deviance against these children. She put some allegations, and I believe that case has been closed. I'll pull it up. I know we were going to do some follow up on this and we did not. Okay. We did not. And that's okay. But look, ma'am has this story and it is what it is. Anyway, let's update on this first. The kids in Detroit, a lot of you guys were worried. I don't know what's going on here. I really do think there's some sort of mental illness going on with this Detroit family. These kids are alleging that they want to sleep outside. And I guess there's nothing else that they can do about it unless those kids tell what's actually really going on. I don't know who wants to sleep outside. I don't know what parent in their right mind would allow kids to make their front porch a bedroom. But baby, I guess if they like it, that's their business. You know what I mean? I think it's very strange. And I think anyone with some good sense probably would think it's strange too. But hey, according to these people that are investigating, they said the kids said that they're okay. And the parents said that the kids said that they want to sleep outside. What parent isn't going to say, get your ass inside? Come on, get in the house. You're not sleeping on the porch. What? You're not going to have your toothbrush over there by the mailbox? What is going on here? I guess the authorities might feel like, look, we crossed our T's, we dotted our I's. It is what it is. They say they're fine. So when the ambulance comes to pick this child up from hypothermia, it's not our fault. Okay.
Hey y'all. Hey. Yeah. What's up, man? Y'all all right, man?
Oh God.
Tonight on The Edge, it has been a week.
Girl, I might immediately have to switch. Something is very strange in that household.
Since we last told you the story of two brothers living on their
All right, we'll make it through this one.
parents' porch in the cold. Now, a major update on this case.
Oh my.
That's had a lot of people talking. Viewers have been reaching out.
Okay, guys, bear with me for just a second. Let me look at sis in her little purple outfit. Gosh, I wish we could
been asking what happened to those boys.
Well, Detroit police are on the.
Okay. Give me just a second. Let me switch things up. Sir has his one button buttoned. Okay. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Let me switch it up. Oh, I hate to have to do this. Let's see. Okay, just one second. All right, give me just a minute, guys. Okay. Okay, can y'all hear me? Can you give me a 1 in the chat? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, guys. Y'all. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Y'all, why did one of my earbuds just drop right in my coffee? It's like, ew. Oh. Okay. Okay. Let's get into this.
Y'all all right, man?
Tonight on The Edge, it has been a week since we last told you the story of two brothers living on their parents' porch in the cold. Now, a major update on this case that's had a lot of people talking. Viewers have been reaching out. They've been asking what happened to those boys.
Well, Detroit police are on the case, but the future of the brothers is still unclear tonight. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack joins us live to tell us why and where do things stand right now, Jessica?
Well, most importantly, since our story aired, those boys have been staying with family friends inside, safe and off that porch. Now, when our story aired, it launched a Detroit police investigation, a real deep dive that they've thrown a lot of resources at to figure out what exactly was going on at this home on the east side of Detroit. And they think they found some answers.
Our investigation showed that the parents have really done everything that they can.
A new twist to a story that shook so many. Two brothers, 12 and 15 years old, sleeping, basically living on their parents' porch since last summer on Detroit's east side.
Shoes, blankets, toothbrush. This is the craziest thing I've seen.
We watched as the older boy came home last Monday night, set down his book bag and fluffed his blankets on the porch. Community outrage and a theory the kids were being forced out there as punishment. Our story prompted an in-depth investigation by Detroit Police Child Abuse Unit.
This has been probably one of the biggest challenges in my career.
Commander Rebecca McKay, the head of DPD's major crimes, sat down with us to explain what their investigation found.
They wanted to sleep out there. That's what they told neighbors. That's what they've told anybody who tried to help them.
She says the kids always had access to the home,
I'm
the bathroom,
laughing.
and food. The older boy apparently has serious behavioral issues.
I mean, look, we can't continue to romanticize that all strippers are, you know what I'm saying? That all strippers are a certain body type and look. Girl, they got the bullet house broke down Ugg mug strip clubs, okay? That's, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's quite possible. I don't know what's going on. I feel like this is on we're checking the box, and if something happens to these kids, it's not our fault. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand where kids decide what they're gonna do at your house, and you're the pastor. So what was it? They're worldly. They are worldly, and it was a punishment. But now you're talking to the kids, and the kids want to sleep outside. Baby, the math is not mathing.
Including a juvenile complaint for assault and battery against a family member.
It's not a punishment at all from the parents. The parents, they don't want
member.
It's not a punishment.
Including a juvenile complaint for assault and battery against a family member. Issue access to the home, the bathroom, and food. The older boy apparently has serious behavioral issues, including a juvenile complaint for assault.
But they say he's a good athlete and he gets decent grades. What's his behavioral issue? He's a teen. He's in adolescence. He doesn't want to sleep he's camping outside on the porch. What's the behavioral issue? Maybe he has his own mind. Maybe his father is a fucking weirdo. Maybe mom is with the go along to get along gang. That's weird.
Assault and battery against a family member.
It's not a punishment at all from the parents. The parents, they don't want them on the porch.
I had a friend in high school. You guys know I went to Catholic high school, and you guys in New Jersey, I went to Paramus Catholic over there on Paramus Road, okay, for 3 years. And let me tell you something. I had a friend, and she was a white girl,
and her dad was a single dad. This was back when, like, when I first met her and she didn't live with her mom, I thought her mom had passed away or something. I was like, you don't live with your mom. Her mom went and married her boyfriend. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, my friend and her sister lived with their dad. And he wasn't really strict, but he was a decent guy. I'm sure now they probably regret giving him his, like, the business that they used to. But in any case, their sis used to act up. Okay, but she was spoiled. And anywho, I came over her house one time and her dad had taken the door off her bedroom. I don't know what she was doing in her room. I don't know why he felt like he had to take off the door. He took off the door to her room, and because she was acting up, probably. I have no idea. I knew she was on punishment. She was acting up. And the funny thing is, because even, and coming from a black home, coming from a home of immigrants, my parents had immigrated to this country, maybe, I don't even know, less than 10 years before I was born. So I was a first generation kid. And I was the first of the ones born here because my older sibs were born in Haiti. Anyway, long story short, she used to call her dad by his first name. Let's just say his name was Dan. It rhymes with Dan, but it's not Dan. But they used to, her and her little sister used to call their dad by his first name. And her mom was up in the Poconos living with her. It was a mess. It was a mess. But I guess he was trying to save her from herself in whatever type of behavior she had, or he had to manage. And I just remember he took the door off her room, and that changed a lot of things. She just observing and seeing what the behavior was like, because she used to like curse and all kinds of stuff. She started to get it together by the time we were like juniors in high school, but ma'am was off the chain in 9th and 10th grade and used to like try to cuss her dad out. Maybe she was angry because, like I said, at the time, I didn't realize the parents, like, they were divorced, but I really didn't get it because my parents were at home. We didn't do anything like that. My parents were very strict. We were very Catholic. We were very respectful because my mom believed in very much popping you in your mouth, or you would be on some sort of punishment, or you wouldn't get any money. You know what I mean? Like all of those things that parents do that discipline you severely, and you already live in a strict home. So, girl, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on here, but I feel like the police are giving up on these kids, and I feel like they're taking the parents' word for it and making it seem like the kids are defiant, or the oldest kid is defiant and he just wants to sleep outside. So they're going to let him. If you don't let a homeless person sleep outside, how are you going to be okay with letting a 15-year-old sleep on the porch? That just doesn't make sense to me.
But
if they're going to take people off the streets in major cities and bring them to warming centers and homeless shelters and things like that, and say it's too dangerous, we cannot allow you to stay out here like this, how can you let a kid? But maybe it has to get to that temperature. I don't know.
they are not going to fight and chance getting into a physical altercation with a 6'5", 220-pound 15-year-old.
Commander McKay says the parents have tried to get their kids in therapy and done everything possible to redirect their paths. Since last week, the kids have been living with family friends as DPD and Children's Protective Service.
So if nothing is wrong, why are they staying with family friends? You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Hold on one second. Can you guys see? Okay. My other monitor's not caught up. Okay, it's behind. Okay, got it. Okay. We're gonna address the stripper bop in a second. Attitude and Tylenol. Okay.
Services come up with a long-term plan.
We're trying to find any way that we can get them on the right track, and so we're not giving up yet.
those parents have been cleared of any potential charges. They will not be charged in this situation. However, the 15-year-old son, he does have that pending assault and battery case in juvenile court. Now, Commander McKay, she wanted to stress they even interviewed these boys' teachers and coaches. The 15-year-old, apparently a star basketball player. Both of these boys doing really well in school.
So he's doing really well in school. Both are doing well in school. One is a star. The eldest, who they said has a behavior problem, is a star basketball player. And what do you have to do in team sports? Come on now. The math is not mathing. Something is weird. I feel like they're falling for the okie doke. And okay. I just feel like they're falling for the okie doke and they just want to sign off on something to make it not their fault, to say, oh, okay, well, we did an investigation. Everybody said that they were okay. And it's not normal. Let's see if they bring him to the friends and family's house and he's sleeping outside there. Obviously, he doesn't feel welcome. He doesn't feel safe. He doesn't want to stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's over at the other people's house and sleeping and enjoying and staying warm and sitting on the couch and playing his PlayStation, just enjoying his regular teenage life, then you're going to have to tell me something else. I don't believe that. I feel bad for these kids. I feel like they know that they could get an ass whooping or something, and mom and dad are off the damn chain and they know better not to say anything. Guys, let me just ask you guys, there's 213 in the chat right now. Likes do matter. If you would go ahead, if you're new here, subscribe, okay, because you're going to like it here. And go ahead and set your notifications to all so you can always be notified every time I post a video, go live, do a community post, drop a reel, all of the things. And also hit the thumbs up, okay? Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. It's a free way to support this channel. All right, let's finish this up because this one's almost done. But we're gonna go and see.
And the investigators at DPD, they really want to set them on the right path.
I don't believe it.
Said they're not giving up.
He's not
Reporting live in
believable.
Detroit, Jessica Dupnack on the Edge.
Yeah, what stands out here really is also the Detroit Police Department really taking an active role in this.
She's the one that had the nice camel color leather puffer jacket. And but okay.
And trying to mend fences with the family. It's nice to see, I have to say.
Yeah, and it was not an easy case. You got a seasoned commander there saying this is one of the most challenging cases that she's worked on. And I have to say personally, we've been getting messages, emails about these boys. There's a lot of interest, and hopefully, the community railing around them will redirect their paths.
Right, and especially as it gets colder out.
Okay, Jessica, thank you for the update, Jess. We appreciate it, hon. Okay, let's go over here. Let's just get down to the business. Isis is over here with the shits. She's got these guys. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about these guys. I've seen this pot because they're obviously popular. These guys have almost 500,000 subscribers. I've seen them probably more on Instagram than I have seen them on YouTube, but obviously they're on YouTube. And this is the deal. They had Isis on, Paloma, girl, Dowdy. They have Mrs. Dowdy on, who I think is using a situation, using blackmail tropes. I think she is trying to look, I don't know this man from a hole in the wall. I don't know if he's a good guy or not, but I think that she is trying to use what people feel is a negative stereotype about some men, some black men specifically, but men in general. She's whistleblowing to people who are sensitive on and have had experiences with certain things. And she's whistleblowing, she's dog whistling. That's a better way to say it. She's dog whistling, and she is rallying she's rallying people that this message resonates with because it covers many across the board. I don't look, it's quite possible these kids have definitely been abused. and it's quite possible something could have happened. We're just not seeing the receipts. I want to see a receipt. You hear about a man raping a child, he's being arrested immediately. This investigation that seems to have been going on since damn September, October, something happened before Halloween, and the police report was from like in November. Like, you said that you saw something in September. You said that you escaped the house sometime in October or something to go buy Halloween costumes to get yourself out the house. And then the report is not consistent with, like, I ran to the police department, I ran to the hospital, I ran some, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not giving. And then you guys have a history of domestic abuse. And my thing was, but why was your ass on YouTube selling marriage advice and hypergamy when it wasn't really giving that? You say you're broke, and then reports are run by other channels, and all the cars are over a decade old, but you want us to think that you're flossing in new. Okay? And you don't have anything for yourself. That's not a bad bitch. Women today, you're putting something to this. You got your FU money. If you feel like you were going to be on some FU, you would have been collecting those checks. What are you spending your YouTube check on? What are you spending your coaching check on? What are you spending your book money on? This lady has multiple streams from her social media. Where is your money? Why are you out here begging for a lawyer? $10,000. You should have $10,000 at least up in the closet. Cash money, access. Where's your credit? You don't have a card? You don't have a good $10,000 credit card with your big money husband? You didn't pay attention to get your credit together while you had Big Daddy over there paying your bills? You didn't decide, like, oh, let me get my credit up so I can get myself a decent line of credit in the event I got to say F you? Where is your money? Where is your money? Okay? All of these women that we see online with powerful husbands, guess what they have? They got their own money. Okay? Even if it's money that your husband gave you, it's still your money that he doesn't have access to. Okay? Because a man doesn't want your money. A real man doesn't want your money. Ever. So you're making money. Where's your money? Where's your leftover from budgeting your money to run the household? Doesn't your husband give you money to run the house? Where's your money? People remember back in the day when Shawnee O'Neal had collected X number of dollars, and Shaq was like, she stole it from him because I guess she was able to manage that household, manage those accounts, and be able to hold money for herself to where she had some FU money, and he felt like that was some sort of a betrayal or something. No, that's what women do. Okay, you have a certain budget to run the house, and you are going to pinch that penny and have something in your pocket to hold in case your kids need some jeans, got to go take a trip, anything, right? I don't understand what's going on here, but these guys are wanting to hear her story, of course, because it's viral. Sis got 2.2, 2.5, whatever million views, and she's an attractive mystery race girl. And men get some men have their noses open for this type of stuff. And I don't see any wedding bands on these guys, but I could be mistaken. So this quote unquote married woman with a dysfunctional situation is coming to talk to whom I think might be two single guys. Maybe, I don't know. And we'll find out. I don't know if they're married or not, but I'm looking at the hands and I don't see wedding bands. Okay. They are not. Okay. So this married woman is coming to sit on a panel and talk her marriage with two men who don't know anything about marriage. Okay. But they might know about the single woman with multi kids running game. So let's see how this goes a little bit. And if however far we get is how far we get. And then if we got to circle back, later or tomorrow, we will. But sis is very boring talker, and talker, speaker. And we're going to just see, let's just see how far we get. We're going to raise it because ma'am talks really slow because she's still devastated. And I'm not making light of the situation, but this is my thing. Since you say you come from this, you should know how to handle a situation like this and run for cover, run for shelter. This lady is not a celebrity. She is but like, you know what I'm saying? She's a YouTube personality with a very small audience up until about a month ago. And she's speaking out about what, especially when the receipts are not receding. Okay.
That I wanted to be able to.
All right.
So, but before we get into the story that most people are familiar with, I think it's very important to start from the beginning. Because you have a story that most of us don't know of. Obviously, we saw you on YouTube. You had a YouTube channel where you was coaching young women to help them in their relationship so they can attract a very specific kind of man.
So she's over here coaching, but you don't even have that type of man, and you're not even really that type of woman. Okay. Wait till you hear some more of the backstory of her first baby father. Okay.
But prior to that, there's a whole story we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can take us back to growing up, right? Growing up at home, what did your home look like in your early childhood?
Probably a fucking mess.
Due to the dynamics of surrounding my birth, which I already talked about, I grew up with a single mom. And
so due to the dynamics surrounding her birth, which she said in her video, she was a product of grape. I think some people missed that detail. I did not. She said she was a product of grape, which meant to me that her mom had been graped and she was the fruit of that situation. And mom may have hated her. Okay. So she could have been one of these ladies who sadly is rejected by their mother. Okay.
My mom did everything possible to provide for me and my little sister. And I think the hard part about being a single mom is that when you're trying to do everything, sometimes it's hard to show up for your children. And I know my mom has always done the best she could, and she's always given us a good life, and she's always protected me. She's always protected me. And I couldn't really ask for more. But I knew that when I had a family, or when I wanted to have a family, that I wanted to be able to be there for my children, whether that looks like working from home or being married. I always wanted to be able to be there for my children, just so that I knew that they were safe. Because when I was a child, because my mom was working, it left the door open. A neighbor's wife was supposed to be watching me after school, and her husband was taking advantage. And I was only 8 years old at this time.
Wow.
And I didn't tell my mother for a while because it was just confusing, and I was scared. And
look, and this is real for a lot of people, but this girl is growing up with I'm a product of grape. Then 8 years old, mom is dropping her off to the babysitter's husband. So then the babysitter's turning her back while the husband is back there taking advantage of her. So this is all the foundation. Did we see any of this in the very arrogant, smug videos of trying to copycat a popular YouTuber who has been consistently over a decade sharing her message, mixed with I don't give a fuck what you think. This is what has worked for me, and this is tried and true advice for my community. Did she demonstrate, did she dialogue any of this hurtful past that could really mess up anybody, right? This could really put some brakes on some things, right? This is not a joke. It's real, I would imagine. I mean, look, this is her story, but this is real for some people. We've heard Oprah's story. We've heard many people have had it really rough from inception, right? So I don't want to make light of that. I'm just like, it's just the fraud for me. It was just the I'm gonna put my chin up and I'm gonna make lemonade, but I'm gonna make y'all think that it's been lovely over here since the beginning, and it really hasn't. Maybe your story would have resonated better if it hadn't been so fake and phony. That's all I'm saying.
I thought I would get in trouble. Oh my goodness.
Take your time.
So just to summarize that, I want to make sure I understand. You had was it a single family home growing up? Your
Yes.
mom, she was a obvious.
No, not that y'all, did you see that? Hold on a second. Let me make sure. Did y'all see what she used to, girl? There, she's over there at the men's podcast. And just like bachelors, just like young men, girl, they gave her a roll of toilet paper to wipe her eye. Girl, it's the girl, baby. Hold on. Did y'all miss that?
Take your time.
So just to summarize that, I want to make sure I
Girl,
understand.
they must not have any women on that podcast.
You had was it a single family
Girl, use the toilet paper.
home growing up? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we don't have tissues. We're men. We don't cry here. Okay. What can we get her? Oh, let's get a roll of toilet paper. Girl, a whole roll. They went right to the toilet and got her. Girl, that's it, baby.
Mom, she was a obviously hardworking woman that had to
Yes,
provide for the
very
family
much so.
all by
And in
herself.
school, always like has a PhD, all the above. All
Oh,
the
your
above.
mom
My
has
mom
a
has
PhD?
really like strived.
Oh,
Every
okay.
woman in my family, even my grandmother, it started with her. I mean, she owns a business, a very successful woman. There's multiple entrepreneurs in my family. So we've always just been, just go get it, make it happen. And I've always been that way. Before meeting my husband, I always worked, provided for my children. I never got child support for my 2 boys. I took care of them.
Girl, homie was a whole ex-felon prison bae that you trapped. Maybe he didn't feel the need.
I luckily was able to secure a job with a family business, so I was able to work from home. But it's what
So when she had her $90,000 job, because we were trying to figure out what was she doing for $90,000. Oh, she was working for the family, allegedly. Girl, the story just gets better and better.
had prayed for when I was pregnant with my second son, because his father got incarcerated when I was 6 months pregnant. And I didn't know what I was going to do because it was just going to be me. Father got incarcerated when I was 6. I had prayed for when I was pregnant with a family business. So I was able to work from home. But it's what I had prayed for when I was pregnant with my second son, because.
So she was working for the family business when she was pregnant with her second son, because what?
His father got incarcerated when I was 6 months pregnant.
Okay, so that's what I prayed for when I was pregnant with my second son. So which one was incarcerated? Was it the first baby's daddy or the second baby's daddy? Because we know she got 3 baby daddies. The 2 boys have 2 different fathers. She trapped one at 17, and then she got pregnant with somebody. She got pregnant with the second kid, and one of these men were in prison. Okay.
And I didn't know what I was going to do because it was just.
She's sitting up here giving advice to people on how to marry a high value man. Baby, stop.
It's going to be me. And he didn't get out until my son was about 9 months old. But I had to figure it out. And, thank you to my aunt and uncle for giving me that opportunity to be able to be home with my.
She couldn't even tell that part of the story right. Did you see how she stumbled over it? I don't know if she's trying to gloss over that she's got 3 baby daddies. This is not a high value female. I'm sorry. If you've got 3 baby daddies, I'm not talking about you. We're talking about this lady here who does podcasts on how to elevate and how to find a damn good provider, a hypergamous man, and men of high value that would be. So let's say like a Nicole Murphy. She's got 1 baby dad, 6 kids, but ma'am is hot in the ass, okay? She's beautiful and she looks a certain way, and she has her own money, and she's got a rich ex-husband. Nicole Murphy can get married to whomever, whatever, whenever, okay, for many different reasons, okay? Her kids are grown. They're all with one father. They're not on the blogs. Mom's in the blogs more than her kids are. They're in the blogs for getting married and dad walking them down the aisle. Okay. At the end of the day, being a single mom doesn't mean that you can't be happy and can't find love and find a decent man. But the more bodies that you bag in terms of baby fathers will up the ante on the level of disgust, because men know that when they know they're not marrying a virgin, okay? Because kids are the absolute trophy of you're not a virgin, okay? And there will be a man who can speak about your puss, okay? Because you've got a trophy from that relationship, right? The trophy, the ultimate prize. You got your child, right? Thanks for my child, right? That being said, the more bodies that you bag and bring to the situation, he may have fun with you, he may enjoy you, he may fuck you down, he may do all of the things, but he more than likely won't make you a wife. If people are going to be talking about you when he brings you home, and mom's going to be like, what? Who? And then how? And you want her to sit where? Mom, with these sons, it's going to be a problem. I know I didn't have a son for a reason, because, baby, it would have been a problem. Okay? That would have been a problem for me. Especially if we have invested time and money in you to get you to a certain place and have you out here with a good education and no student loans. No. We want you to have the best, and the best is you and someone building together and you supporting all of your own children. But if you make the decision that you fall in love with someone who's got a child or two, you have a past, you waited too long to kind of match up with someone your own age who is coming just like you're coming with nothing, and you got a kid, it would be case by case basis. But this chick is coming 3 baby daddies in. One is a felon. So some of you guys don't like Kevin Samuels, but that's okay. You got at least one who is what would be classified as a sus baby dad, as a sketchy. Remember Kevin used to say, nobody wants a woman with a sketchy baby dad? You got 2 baby dads. One is sketchy. One is now on the up and up, married to, I think, a nice woman. And then you got a sketchy husband. So now she's moving on with 5 kids and trying to find someone else. Girl, make it make sense. The dating coach.
My children and provide for them. And we had a nice apartment, and, we had all the good things. I had my own car. I had all my own stuff. But I remember it was one Christmas when it was just us. And I said, you know what? I would like to be married. And I had never said that before. I never wanted to be married just because, I haven't really seen a lot of successful marriages in my life.
But you come from such a up and up, everybody's doing everything, fabulous family. Why have you not seen? It's the story not adding up. You were just talking about your family and all of the things, but now you're saying you've never seen marriage?
So when, I'm sorry, I'm talking too far away. But when I had that Christmas, it dawned on me that, maybe I should really put myself out there and try to find a good man for these kids. And, I had 2 boys, and I feel like they needed a good fatherly example because
you have 2 boys with 2 fathers.
They didn't have it.
So both of your picks were with the shits, but one of them, we know at least one, is now married and has 2 other children and wifed up that lady. So baby daddy number 2 wouldn't marry you, but he married someone else. Make it make sense, sis.
We definitely want to dig into that as well. And I want to go back, because I don't want to just breeze past this incident that happened at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Now, you get assaulted by a neighbor's
Yes.
husband. And where's your father at this point? He's just...
My biological father is much older than my mother.
What relevance
he
is
took
that?
advantage of her when she was a young girl in high school. I think I remember my mom saying she was in labor trying to take her SATs.
Wow.
And she was the pregnant girl in high school. And, it's unfortunate that he preyed on her like that. But there's so many men like this out there, and people just don't talk about it.
And so the situation is your mother coming from an abusive relationship.
Do you hear all the negative stereotypes that she has about men? I I don't believe in every negative stereotype that's placed out. I think it's case by case basis. And there's a lot of everything out here. There's a lot of murderers out here, but is everybody talking about it? I mean, there's a lot of people that will steal right from under your nose. There's a lot of liars out here. There's a lot of slores out here. Are we talking about it?
Now she has you. You're 8 years old. You go through the traumatic experience with the spouse of a neighbor.
Yeah.
And let's fast forward a bit, because if I'm not mistaken, your first child, you had your first child at 17.
Yes. Yes.
So before having this child, what did sex look like to you at this point? Like when was your first sexual experience kind of getting active?
Probably when I was about 13. I lost my virginity to a 17-year-old boy in high school. And
baby, why are these grown men asking this grown woman when was their first sexual experience? Is this the sexual experience podcast, or what the hell is going on here? But okay, we'll go with this. She was 13 and someone's damn senior in high school is messing with an eighth grader. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I was always told just don't have sex growing up. I don't know if that's what a lot of people in our community say.
They hear that a lot. I'm
just
sure.
don't do it. It's not,
girl. What's our community? When she says our community, is she pulling out her black card right now? What does that mean, our community? What community are you referencing, ma'am? Okay. Of what community are we referencing? Our community? I don't know. I mean, baby, I don't know what community that, the female community?
really openly discussed about why and what can happen, and even personal experiences.
No, the 17, she got pregnant at 17. She trapped a guy at 17. She said her first sexual experience was 13 by a 17-year-old. But she got pregnant at 17. Let me run it back so y'all can hear that.
To a 17-year-old boy in high school. It was about 13. I lost
experience kind of having this child. What, if I'm not mistaken, your first child, you had your first child at 17.
Yes.
She had her first child at 17.
Yes.
So before having this child, what did sex look like to you at this point? Like when was your first sexual experience kind of getting active?
Probably when I was about 13. I lost my virginity to a 17-year-old boy in high school. And
so we don't know if that's the same guy or not.
Yeah, I mean, I was always told
it's Paloma Dowdy, to the person asking.
Just don't have sex growing up. I don't know if that's what a lot of people in our community say.
Is she Latino? I think she is. I'm not sure. She's obviously some derivative of something. Okay. Maybe a little black, maybe a little Hispanic, of where I don't know. She might be Dominican potentially. And like, I don't know if it's both parents, one parent. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know that she has said it specifically.
They hear that a lot. I'm
Just
sure.
don't do it. It's not really openly discussed about why.
At 13, that is the sex conversation. This is how it happens. This is what men and women do. Or this is in 2024. This is how people have sex. Okay. So then you got to pull out a pie chart, okay, and a graph and give all the explanations, which I'm not doing that for 13-year-old. Okay. 13. Yeah, don't do, especially growing up Catholic. I don't know if that's how she grew up, but girl, Catholic education is don't do it. Okay. Don't do it.
And what can happen, and even personal experiences that may sway a young girl away from making certain decisions. But you know, I have learned, and I really wanted to be able to speak to young moms when I created my platform. Because if I would have done it over again, granted, I love my children, but if I can speak to a young woman and say, like, don't have kids before marriage if you can help it, you know, it's going to be a little bit easier. You know, just trying to be real and open and honest. I was a single mom, and this is what happened. And I found what I thought was a good husband, seemed like a good husband, but turned out to be just a monster.
I want to ask this because do you feel like that experience that happened at 8, obviously you had your first sexual experience at 13. intentionally.
Yeah.
It sounds like. Did that experience at 8 years old? Do you feel like that influenced that experience at 13? Did it hypersexualize you in a way?
I'm sure it's all connected. Because I believe that women who are basically taught from a young age that their value is in what's between their legs start to internalize that. And it's unfortunate.
And I can imagine a ton of confusion going on at that time. And now you're 17 and you involved with a young man. And if I'm not mistaken, you stated this before, that you intentionally had a child.
Yeah.
So when you say at 17, you intentionally decided to, move forward with bearing a child, what exactly does that mean? And what was your mindset?
As a couple, we kind of had this whirlwind romance. I actually met him here in Atlanta. So, on a train coming from Alexandria to Atlanta. And
okay, let me say this real quick. You
did
see on the
everything click?
screen Isis Morales. I think Morales is her maiden name, but her name is Paloma. Isis is her YouTube streets name. So I guess Paloma Morales. Her husband's name is OJ Dowdy, and I cannot even pronounce his first name. But we'll go with OJ Dowdy. So it's Paloma Dowdy. If you were to look her up in Baltimore, in Maryland records, it is Paloma Dowdy and her husband, Mr. Dowdy, on some divorce and all of the things. Okay. So for the person who was asking, and also there are some videos. I think I put them all in a playlist. So anything on this topic is in the playlist.
Said, will you give me a son? And I said, yes.
Wow.
And I was pregnant almost immediately. And I love my son.
How long did you did you guys have a relationship at that point?
Oh my gosh, I was pregnant almost in Atlanta, and on a train coming from Alexandria to Atlanta, and everything clicked. And he said, will you give me a son? And I said, yes. Wow. And I was pregnant almost immediately. And I love my son.
How long did
she was looking for love?
Did you guys have a relationship at that point?
Oh my gosh, it was probably like a few weeks. It wasn't long. It wasn't long at all. And I still consider him a friend to this day. Like, he's still a good friend.
And how old was he?
He was a few years older than me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that was your first child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
so
just to confirm,
you met your first baby daddy.
Your now husband. How many children did you have?
2.
Okay. So when did you have your second child?
I had my second
child. Wait a
child.
second. Are you hearing the math? Did you hear that? She has 5 kids, guys. Listen. Paloma, you are full of shit, hun. So first baby father, she's still friends with him. Second baby father, I don't know what the status is. Now you met your husband. You've had 2 kids with him, but didn't you just have a baby? So is that why sir is in your ass, because you got pregnant with another man's baby? I thought you said that baby belonged to him. But wouldn't you have 3 kids with the man? Because the math is not mathing on that. You got 5 kids. The sons have different fathers. The daughter's dad is sir. And then you just had a baby 5-6 months ago. Are we catching that tea, guys? Girl got 4 baby daddies. She got 4 baby daddies, y'all. Let me find that picture. Let this play. Let me find the picture, because she said the baby, she said, that is my husband's baby. Baby number 3 that she just had. So the marriage has been falling apart. The marriage has been falling apart since right after she had the little baby. So, he don't want you because you got pregnant with some other man's baby. Is that what the problem is? So now you're going to put on him that he was touching the girls because he rejected you because you've been out here passing around. Now you're going to put stories out on him that there's not even. Let me tell you something. Any of you call the police and say this, that, and the third happened with my kid and someone, how fast do they come arrest these teachers helping themselves to your kids? How fast do they come and pick up someone, neighbor, helping themselves to a child, helping themselves at the daycare, helping themselves at the rec center? How quickly are these people arrested? But you can't get homeboy with some silver bracelets on, that means the story is not something is not matching
your
stories. So let's hear it again. They just basically, so she said she only had 2 kids with her husband, but y'all have 5 kids.
Oh, and I still consider him a friend to this day. Like, he's still a good friend.
And how old was he?
He was a few years older than me.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to say he
And
was.
that was your first child.
You don't want to say he was probably like. Well, we can look it up. I mean, it's not hard. So you had your first kid at 17, which maybe he was sexing you down, and you were still 16. So if the baby came at 17, he might have been sexing you at 16. And if he was over a certain age, well, guess what? That's probably a problem. Because that's, again, proof.
Child. Okay. And just to confirm, before you met your now husband, how many children did you have?
2.
Okay. So when did you have your second child?
I had.
Okay, so before you met your now husband, how many kids did you have? Let's make sure we heard this right.
My second child with someone I knew from high school. I had known him.
Okay, maybe I heard that wrong. Let's see. So when she said the 2, girl, I jumped on that. Okay. So she had 2 kids before she met her husband, and then let's hear this part of the story.
He went to a different high school from me, but I forget how we met. I think at the library we met. And
people at the train at the library.
My mom liked him. He was nice. And I actually ended up moving back home after things didn't work out with my oldest son's father. And I actually saw him when we were working somewhere together. I had gotten a new job and he happened to be working there too. And it was just like, oh my gosh, hey, and
oh my gosh, hey,
we started a relationship and my son came about, and yeah.
So at this point, you I'm assuming 1920, you got 2 children. And from my understanding, your sister now,
I would say, no, I was like 21 when I got pregnant, or around the time. I remember when I turned 21, I think I was pregnant. I couldn't even drink on my 21st birthday. I was pregnant with my second son.
And what is your mother at this point communicating to you about men?
My mother has always told me that you need to be very careful about men in general. And I don't want to paint every man in a bad light, but there can be a predatory side that some men do not control and do not want to control, and that's the dangerous part.
And where was your father at this point in time in your life?
Nowhere around. I mean, he, I believe, threatened my mother that if...
I don't think these guys have not done their research. I don't think they understand that her mother was graped and she is the product of a grape. That's it. That's all. The guy's not around. He's not. That's it. That's the end of the story.
She tried to even get child support from her that he would end her and her family members.
Wow.
So he was nowhere.
Okay. So you now at the point, you got 2 young boys, and are you at this point, after your second pregnancy, are you considering dating? Are you having conversations? Kind of what direction you want to take your life? What's happening?
Hey, let's talk
things
about
didn't work
it.
out with my second son's father, and it was that Christmas that I told you where I was like, I really need to create a family for my children. Gotcha. And just
okay. So your picker is off, sis. You can't seem to pick them. So first baby daddy was in prison. Second baby daddy, Christmas time, you're sitting there wishing and hoping for a family. Your mom liked him, but on Christmas, you're sitting there thinking, I really need a family. You got 2 kids. Clearly, he is the marrying kind. He's married someone else. He didn't marry you, and has 2 more sons now. So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's just something we're missing.
Do things the right way. And I knew I wanted more children. I love my babies. I think I'll have another one in 10 years, maybe. But right now, that's just not on my mind at all. I have 5 beautiful babies, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of them, and they're my reason and my purpose. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, you fine. I just wanted to get an idea of what kind of inspired you to get back into the dating market, which it
Well,
sounds like you wanting to start a
yeah,
family,
it was
kind of
that.
start fresh.
It was that, just wanting to find a good man that I could respect because of the type of women that were in my.
But if you want a man that you can respect, you have to be a woman that you can respect. And if you are not a respectable woman, you know when you're with the shits. You know when you're not doing right. You know when you ain't right. You know what you're bringing and what you're not bringing. How do you expect to attract something that you are not? I know it's really corny because a lot of people hear that and they don't even understand the concept. But there are some times in your life when you make decisions that you transcend being like a starter anything, starter girlfriend, starter wife, starter mom. This girl is not a start. This girl has been around the block. Some things have not been her fault. Okay. But she's been around the block and she has also made decisions, really bad decisions that have made her not a starter anything. Okay. Someone meeting you, sis, you got miles. Okay. That's like when you go to the used car lot and you might see a beautiful car, but you go inside and the car is only 2 or 3 years old, but it's already got 100,000 miles. It's like, where did they drive to Alaska and back? You know, the car has miles on it. Sis, you got miles on you. And you want something that a lot of other people want that I don't know. I don't know that you are in a that you might not be well positioned to have. So and also on top of the fact she doesn't make good decisions. She makes poor decisions based on wants rather than doing it for herself. She opened up by saying how she came from a family of go-getters and doing it for yourself, but doing it for yourself is finding someone to do it for you. Is that what that is?
My family, very high achievers, and just really a lot. Everyone in my family has been a very high achiever. That I had a certain expectation of what a husband should look like, and also, finding certain content. I don't know if I should even talk about any of that.
Well,
but
I think you should, because all of that influences how you think and particularly how you go about dating.
Okay.
And right now it is still very much so a gender war. Both men and women are confused about how to date and how to make decisions.
Yeah.
And I think everything and anything that influenced you at that time is important to share.
Well, I had shared this before that I stumbled across a very important content creator that I think everyone knows as the hypergamous queen. Her videos are shared, sprinkle videos everywhere.
I just learned about the sprinkle. I didn't know about it.
So a lot of people are new to this, but I was true to it because I was following before there was 100,000 subscribers, like me and my sisters, and
that's Shira 7.
Shira 7, yes.
And I recently checked out her page, thousands and thousands of views, and she's been doing it for a very long time.
For sure.
Yes. So I was telling every woman that I met in person, like, there's a content creator that makes really good content just about, really, it seemed like how women could take their power back is how it felt. That's how
I found someone who makes really good content. And I think I'm going to just copy it 100%. I'm going to use her teachings and I'm going to see if I can nab somebody. And then I'm going to take what I can take, glean what I can glean, and I'm going to make a 2.0 channel and take a lot of her wisdom, not because I've proven it to be true, but just I know that that's what y'all like to hear, and I'm going to try to make a bag off of it.
It felt at the time.
Yeah. So that when you went from a place of not wanting marriage at all,
Mm-hmm.
and then you started to want marriage. Was she a part of the reason?
I believe that, you know what? Probably. And I hate to say that, but probably it just seemed more secure for a family. And I hate to, you know what?
Was she a part of the reason? Marriage at all?
Mm-hmm.
And then you started to want marriage. Was she a part of the reason?
I believe that, you know what? Probably.
Hey, great idea. Let me blame it on her. So as a woman who is a mother of 2 kids, you said at Christmas time, you wanted to have a family because clearly you were either some sort of side piece or afterthought. What man isn't spending quality time with his lady and child during Christmas? Either you were a damn side piece or an afterthought. You're not, baby. Men are going to be around their son at Christmas time unless they're a complete bum. And he's not a complete bum because we see him on his Facebook with the new wife and they seem very happy. Not to mention there's multiple pictures of your son blended in with the new sons and the new wife having hands, you know what I mean? Like looking like she is being very motherly to not her son and her two sons' brother. Okay, say it like that. So you're gonna say you had no idea or thought of getting married until you started digging deep into Shira 7 videos. That's what made you want to get married? Really? I find that like, oh really? Wow, that's crazy.
Marriage at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started to want marriage. Was she a part of not
Time.
Yeah. So that when you went from a place of not wanting marriage at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
I didn't even hear her say that, but okay.
started to want marriage. Was she a part of the reason?
I believe that, you know what? Probably. And I hate to say that, but probably.
Why do you
it
hate
just
to say that?
seemed more secure for a family.
Why do you hate to say that you got an idea from your mentor, your unofficial mentor? Why would you say that was, you hate to say it, because you weren't raised hypergamous, ma'am. You weren't raised did the idea of hypergamy came to you watching videos. Hypergamy did not come to you because that was what you experienced growing up, and that's fine. But you, even being a mother and being with certain men, didn't even give you the hope, the wish, the thought of being hypergamous. It was watching a video of what you see a woman who is living a lifestyle that she has been conscious about having for herself, and you taking that advice and then just figured, well, I'm okay. This is my next step.
It just seemed right.
Okay,
It just
yeah.
seemed more stable, like we would be on a solid foundation. And I prayed to God about it because, you can
Girl,
subscribe
it's
to certain
freezing
things that
too.
people talk
Yeah.
about, but you don't have to subscribe to everything
Right.
that they talk about. And I've always had a relationship with God, and Jesus is the one true Lord. And I prayed about it and asked God to send me the right man. It wasn't just about what he had. It was never about what he had. Because if it was about that, I had a lot of other options with more. And it was really about how he treated my children.
Look at that chin up. Chin up, Buttercup. It wasn't about what he had. It was about, because the guy that, when she was on the dating app, if you guys remember, when she was on the dating app, she met him and another guy. She went with the other guy, but the other guy couldn't get along with her oldest son. And I guess he put her out, or they were breaking up, or whatever the case might be. She was living over at another man's house. And homeboy, who ended up being the husband, Mr. Dowdy, reached out to her coincidentally right at that time. And she basically said, "Can I move in?"
Because he seemed to love my boys. And he said, "Oh, those are my boys. You remind me of my mom. She was a single mom with 2 boys. And I would just love to help you and be there for you and be the man you guys need." Oh my God. I would just love to. Those are my boys. You remind me of my mom. She was a single mom with 2 boys. And I would just love to help you and be there for you. Remind me of because he seemed to love my boys. And he said, "Oh, those are
So he seemed to love your boys.
my boys. You remind me of my mom.
He never like, "I'm so deeply in love with you. You're just the best person." And I'm sorry, that is not a proposal of any type of significance to a woman. I'm sorry. And I have not been in a position where I've had to have someone fall in love with me and my kid. But at the end of the day, you don't marry someone who doesn't love you. You don't marry someone who says, you remind me of my mom and I want to help you. What the fuck is that? You marry someone who is who you are and they are deeply in love with you. You marry someone who you love, care about, want to honor, cherish, and all of the things. That's bonus. The kids and the fact that maybe you have qualities of his mother, but I'm not hearing, me personally, whenever I hear stories and I don't hear anything about love and they're talking about marriage, that is a huge red flag for me because I don't understand how people, I cannot, I just can't. Like, it's hard to be phony, and phony takes effort. Okay. And if you are in a marriage with someone who does not love you and you do not love, what's the point? What's the point? Get your bag up and don't need a roommate. If you're having sex with someone and you think it's just the next step in the game, it really is not. It really isn't.
She was a single mom with 2 boys, and I would just love to help you and be there for you and be the man
She's
you
so
guys
dumb.
need.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So you know what? I want to, before we actually get deep into,
She's
the
more
situation that took
sniffling
place
like
with
she
your
has a
husband,
cold
I think it's
than
important to, talk about the impact. I'm actually happy you shared that because, we had that we had a debate just the other night where that was a part of the conversation because who you watch and learn from, that's discipleship. That's mentorship.
Oh my goodness.
That's who you are, in submission to.
Yes.
Under their leadership.
You know what? That's so true.
The thing about it is
So
now when you're discipling under somebody to make the most important decision in your life, this is how I choose my partner.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest decision we make. They have a lot of influence on our future and the future of our children. What do you think was the biggest takeaway?
I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of girls, mostly women, and look, just hear me out. There's a lot of people who don't want to do the work out here. They want lazy marriage, lazy life, lazy bags. They just want it to come. They want it easy. Let me say it like that. They want easy life, easy bags, easy husband. They want an easy pass. Okay. They want to go from, they want to, I'm going to use a theme park example. They want to pull up into Disney and they want to magically be at Epcot Center. They don't want to have to go park. They don't want to have to go to the Welcome Center. They don't want to check in. They don't want to have to get on the tram. They just want to Epcot. Okay. Boom. Magic Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? They just want to boom be at Cinderella's brunch. Okay. They just want to be there. They don't want to do any of the work to have to get there. They don't have to get on the ferry. Okay. They just want to get there. They want to easy pass it. And Shira 7 to me offers very good advice, but I'm grown. So she doesn't have to fill in the blanks for me, but there's a lot of women out here that have a lot of miles on their back, but don't have the experience. They have been running around like chickens with their head cut off. They got lots of miles on that putty cat, and they start to get desperate and they feel like they're going to play tricks and games with guys who are not necessarily husband quality, husband material. And that can get you into a lot of trouble. Many different, physically, mentally, emotionally, and body count wise, as far as children are concerned. And it's ill-advised. And I think she has next level advice for a particular female who has mastered their feelings and emotions. If you are emotional, you are someone who doesn't make good decisions, Shira 7 is not for you. You have to have emotional intelligence to be able to hear what this woman is saying and to be able to use her advice to work to your advantage. If you are out here on the fucking slow bus, you do not need to listen to her advice because you're not ready for it. You have to have a certain amount of emotional intelligence. Even with Kevin Samuels, there's too many people who hear him and just get stuck on how rude he is. But he had really good advice for the single girl, but could not get past the messenger. And it's because their feelings were hurt because something triggered them. And all I hear is this girl, unfortunately, a 30-year-old woman, is out here being triggered and having emotional responses to things not going her way. And this is not going to end well. It's already looking sus and bad. But that's just my opinion. A lot of people go to the internet for relationship advice, and she does give good, like for a grown woman who has some sense, Shira 7 is on point. And for a particular type woman who may be a little younger, but she is about her business or her bag, in with, who may be a little cunning, okay? She'll give you the advice, and they would be able to use that to their advantage. There's plenty of people, quote unquote, gurus out here that give good advice. Everyone's advice is not necessarily effective for, everyone's, it's a la carte out here. Let me put it like that. There are a lot of people out here who give excellent advice, but that advice might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? You might need to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know, this woman really needed to, the type of man that she was trying to attract is not necessarily, it got her into trouble. It got her into domestic violence reports. It got her into a tumultuous relationship. It got her pretending on the internet. And it got her now doing a social media tour to trash this man. And maybe he deserves it. I don't know. Maybe he deserves it. But anybody who is going to make their next move, their best move, would not have this type of a footprint. Because if you're trying to go to the next hypergamy situation, there is no decent man who's going to see all of this footprint on the internet and think to wife you up with 5 children and 3, maybe 4 baby dads. You're done, sis. You are done. She should have kept quiet and tried to make this a memory of 2024 and came back. But she's trying to use people's trigger points using her kids. And we don't even know if this story is accurate because there's no criminal charges against her husband. Did I say that already? The only thing there is a domestic dispute where it was documented what she told the police. There's no criminal investigation yet because I guess they didn't. How do you go to the hospital and the hospital, the mandated reporters are telling you that there is a sexual assault situation going on and sir has not been arrested? How does that work? Just like the niece said, baby girl had a diaper rash. Probably because you're too busy on the internet running your mouth and not handling all these children that you have. And you got a 4-year-old running around with a pamper. You said you were changing your daughter. 4 years old? What are you changing? She should be using the bathroom on her own. What are you talking about? The niece said baby girl had a diaper rash. All right, let's watch a little bit more, but girl, we'll never get through this. This is we'll come back to it if you guys want to see more, but let's try and maybe get through at least the first 30 minutes.
From that content creator in particular that impacted you, what was the biggest takeaway, or what empowered you from her in particular, that made you feel that safety and security? Like, what was it, a particular lesson or principle that was given to you?
I
know Shira has to be pissed that this subpar student from the bushes keeps running her name and got it completely. This is not a success story. This is the reason why Shira was like, she wasn't no student of mine, because I don't tell anyone to be out here being stupid. Isis Morales, Paloma Dowdy has not perfected not being dumb in relationships. So Isis is out here as like an F. If she were a student, she would be an F, because you didn't get the lessons right, boo-boo. You like what? That's the reason why it's like, you can't claim me as your teacher because I didn't teach you to be stupid. That's exactly what she said.
think that a lot of times, like I stated before, that women are taught that their value is in what's between their legs. And she was the first person that said that it was true. And you don't have to give it away to just anybody. A man should be worth your time. He should be, taking.
Paloma's stupid. I think Shira 7 wants women to acknowledge the value of their body. I mean, you can take it however you want to take it, but we're not out here selling cat, okay? If you get from Shira 7 that you need to sell your puss, that's not her message. I think what she is imploring is that women see the value, and that men value the experiences that they can have with you. And if you're out here needing to pay a bill and you are giving up Putty Cat, and someone is not making sure that your health and well-being are taken care of first and foremost, and you're laying down in the bed with them and you are giving them your last piece of bread and egg sandwich, and you're left to try to figure it out, and they are enjoying the comforts of your body, you're giving up wife benefits to a man who is not supporting you, that's a problem. That's what she's talking about. She's not talking about selling Putty Cat. She's talking about put some value on yourself as a woman, because men value that. It's not about they should pay to spend time with you. She's stupid. Do you hear this? You hear her? Even after she has spent time as a hypergamous coach, she cannot even repeat the teachings of Shira 7 so that it can make sense. I don't believe that Shira, that's the intent. People can walk away with that because there's levels to this thing. But as a married woman with 2 daughters, I don't know how many kids she has. I've seen her with 2 daughters. And she's been with the same man for a long time. That is not the message she's giving out. That's not what I took it as, but I'm also mature. This chick is not mature. She's dim, she's slow, and she's trying to make it make sense that she likes to pass herself around.
You out. He should be investing in you. He should be making your life easier if he cares about you. And that's what I took away from it.
I think that makes sense.
I want to ask you this because, right now,
hi, Latasha, welcome,
with where you are today, do you feel like that was the healthiest
everybody.
Content to digest, or do you have any regrets in really watching that content to help guide your decision making?
So funny thing about me is I don't have regrets. I believe that God is working in perfect order, in perfect timing, and there's nothing that happens that he has not approved or seen.
So God approved you of having a baby at 17 with some random guy. God approved you at 21 to have a baby that you're sitting at Christmas wanting and hoping for a family. God approved and co-signed and ordained you finding a man who is going to be who had already been married 2 times, just had a divorce, and was going to make you his 3rd wife, and future spoiler, he would, according to you, touch on these girls? That's what you think that God ordained? God set that up for you? That's God's hand?
And unfortunately, our family, not just our family, but our family in public,
Because she wants to seem like she's
especially my
upset
daughters,
with
have had
us.
to be
She's trying to
sacrificial
put
lambs
some emotion to
in
it.
the result of what has happened. And
Shira cannot be blamed for this.
So-
And I've said this from day one. There's no way. I've listened to Shira's channel before. I don't like in depth with it because I don't need dating advice. I don't need marriage advice. I don't. But I find her very insightful and I like her way. It's entertainment for me. Some people need the advice, but it's one of those, you have to be careful with her advice, because if you don't have emotional intelligence, her advice is going to fuck you up. You might get to a certain point and realize, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? My advice has ran out. I don't know what to do. And then you start fucking it up and you end up over at the police station filing DV reports because homie figured out that you're a whole clown and it pissed him off. Men who invest in you and monetarily and heart-wise, they put babies in you, they create a family with you, they're going to get real mad when they find out that you're with the shits. When they find out that all you wanted was a come up or some cash, they're going to get pissed. I don't advocate domestic violence, but I mean, come on. You may have a brother, an uncle, a father. At the end of the day, if someone plays with their heart, plays with their money, plays with them, they're going to get mad. And it's quite possible he may have figured out that his wife was with the shits and he fucked up again, because this man she was married to was married 2 other times before her and had just gotten out of a marriage. And now he's sitting up here married again. And not to say that that's all her fault, because he made a decision too. But if she was playing and using her YouTube handbook of what she learned on the latest podcast, that might have been a problem.
So now let's talk to me about meeting your husband now, because I can imagine after you watch this content, it's probably preparing you for the suitors that come into your life, how to vet them, how to manage them. Was he one of the early suitors?
yes,
Was he the first one, or were there a few guys before him?
he was one of the first few, and he pursued me heavily, which I liked. I think that
She has no value in herself,
pursues them
so
says that, I want you. And
And you initially
she liked being pursued because she doesn't have any value. You know how men say, I like to tell my daughters, they're beautiful and I love them because I don't want some other guy out here telling them and them not being used to hearing that. Okay. You can't, the first guy that's like, oh, you're beautiful. If you know, not to be conceited, but if you know that you're beautiful, you got it going on, that you're smart, all of these things, you got brothers, uncles, cousins, mom, everybody's telling you and instilling in you so that you know your value and your worth, and you don't have to just get it from some dude who's like, wow, I love your conversation. That's nice. Thank you. And keep it, because you've heard that before. You've heard it before. And you know it to be true, right? I mean, like, okay, tell me something I don't know. You're not going to say that, but you know who you are. You know your value. You can cook. You got a big butt. You got nice teeth. You got a nice smile. You possess all of those things, right? You don't need someone telling you that to feel good.
met him online.
yes, online. I'm sorry. We met online. I don't want to throw the website out there, but if people have been watching, then they know. I don't want to make the website a bad place. That's not what it's about. But we did meet online. Yes.
I get it. And you meet online, you set up a date.
Yeah.
Okay. And first date goes well.
The first date went amazing. He felt like my husband.
What about the experience with him made you feel so comfortable?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I just felt safe. I felt like he was my husband. I can't describe it. And he, even on our first date, he said, "So what do you think about if we got married in 2 months?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe." And he spit out his water because he
My first thought was green card season, but that wasn't the case.
started choking like he couldn't believe I said, "Oh, maybe."
Wow.
But it felt so natural and so right. Yeah.
How old were you at this time, by the way?
I was 23 or
Oh, wow.
24 or something like that.
And what was his age?
45, 43, 45, something like that. I don't know.
So he's around 20 or so years older.
Yes, he's 20 years older.
Now, being a young woman at that time, 23, did you have any reservations about his age, or was that a concern at all, or was that just a typical right?
Okay, so I didn't get introduced to dating older men until I started watching Share 7. She just basically said,
It's like, damn, I would hate for someone to listen to me so much that they have a bad experience in their life and they feel like they got it from my fucking playbook. Because just like Shira said, and I want to make sure, she said, yeah, she didn't get that from me. Are you kidding me? I mean, she is blaming, and it's not even just blaming, it's just giving credit. Like, this is bad. This is bad for business. But I think anyone who knows her channel knows that, like, girl, like she said, I'm just very plain. She didn't tell you to be stupid.
I mean, they got money. Yeah, exactly. They can be a better man to you. They can provide for you in the way that you like and your kids, and so I was like, okay. And it was a bit odd at first.
Okay,
I didn't initially
you don't want to
jump right
mention
into online
the
dating.
website, but yeah, you don't mind
men
mentioning
would try
the
to talk to me at the grocery
content
store,
creator
and
that
normally I
you
just wouldn't even pay attention
got
to
wrong.
older men. But I just started to be a little bit more approachable, I guess, to men of an older age. And I ended up meeting the first older man that I dated. And it was a little bit odd at first because I just wasn't used to dating an older man. But because he treated me well, it became easy. You feel like a princess,
I'm curious. You said I started doing things to make myself more approachable to older men. Like things like what? What makes you more approachable to older guys?
Just like smile more, or you can make a little more eye contact. Where normally, if you don't go for a certain type, you're probably not even going to turn your head. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're not even going to look in their face. But I was like, let me keep my options open. I always was attracted to men of color, so I typically stay in that range. But it's like, let me see about dating someone a little bit older. And after I did, I was like, oh, I could do this. It's not too bad.
That's very, very honest of you. And that makes a lot of sense. And I want to ask the online aspect of it. Was that also a part of the strategy, so to speak, to be able to?
Yeah, she doesn't find any value.
It wasn't at first. Okay. Actually, one of my older sisters said, why don't you just try online dating? She was like, it's not too bad. And I never had online dating. Like not made any type of profile. Right. Because I was like, I don't want people that know me to see me on here, and it's kind of embarrassing. And that just was my thought process at the time. But then she was like, no. And my oldest sister, she's gorgeous, so it's not like she doesn't have in-person options. But she's like, just try it. And so I tried it. Did a paid dating app because I feel like it would be a little bit more, smaller pool of better people. That exactly. And I was able to meet, some good guys.
So how long after that first date, did you? Because obviously he threw 2 months out. What happened after that first date? Did you guys continue exclusively dating?
Not really. I mean, we kind of dealt with each other, like talk, but I kind of was just talking to people. Like I kept my options open and just was letting people get to know me and taking things slow, not really rushing anything and not trying to get into a relationship at all. And I found that honestly, when I started dating,
but that's not true. You said you met him and you met another guy and you ended up moving in with the other guy. That's what you said in your video. You said you moved in with the other guy and then he couldn't get with your son. So you guys decided to break up and you went and picked up homie the clown, Mr. Dowdy.
Older men, they wanted to rush into a relationship like immediately. On the first date, they were like, I want you to be my woman. And I'm like, no, I don't even know you. And that's kind of just how I would, we need to get to know each other over a bit of time. and it turned out to be 6 months, not 2 months.
I think that is very interesting because, and initially when you told me about the things that your husband at the time was or the guy you was dating at the time, the things that he was saying, I thought, well, that's kind of strange for him to be saying those types of things. But based on your experience, you're saying that the older men, this was regular conversation.
Yes, they wanted to take me off the market right away.
Wow.
Right away.
Okay. So at this point, 6 months goes down the line. And what is the transition from you now taking him serious? What did you see? Because I know when it comes to the assessment of, deciding to be a husband, a lot of, what the noise is that, it was solely a financial decision that was made. What's the truth behind the decision? What did you see in him to actually make him your husband?
He was so good with my boys. He was so good with them. Even my oldest son responded.
No, I loved him. Is it me or am I just overly romanticizing marriage? How can you be married to someone you don't love? And maybe it's because I waited till I was in my 40s. I mean, I had Farrah. I was 40 and I married her father at 40. I was almost 40. I was 43. So I was 40 when I had my daughter and 43 when I married her father. And I refused to be with anyone I did not love. Love was a key component, reason, requirement for me to, because there was no other reason. Like I was happy being single, and love changed up the whole game. Love is that is the only reason to be, and I mean love, like a deep love, a desire to be family, not someone take care of you and pay your bills. Love, it should be the reason behind marriage, and your marriage will flourish in so many different ways. If the reason is because you need a help with a babysitter or you need a co-parent, what the fuck is that all about? That's why you're in the situation you're in,
to him
man.
in a way that he didn't respond to with my ex. And I paid attention to those little things because I would gladly leave a man if he didn't mesh well with my kids. And I had did that with the man that I was in a more serious relationship with right before we got married, because I had started, that was the man that we started looking at rings, and the relationship was, moving forward. And I had
there was another
him.
that you met, and I believe you said he got caught in the
Me
girlfriend
too.
stage.
Yeah.
So could you detail what that relationship? How did you meet that guy?
Yes.
How did things kind of get started? And what exactly was the girlfriend stage?
We met online, and
It's not going to
he
work
just was,
out.
very consistent. He just wanted to do anything to make my life easier. What can I do for you? What do you need? Very nice and perfect gentleman. But he was nice to my children. All of them were nice to my children. Like if I met, there's probably 3 men that met my children. All of them were nice. But with him in particular, because we started to live together and, it was a little bit more of an intimate setting, I feel like him and my oldest son clashed a little bit, because my oldest son, I kind of always let him be the little man of the house in a way. And he's very, very smart and highly intelligent child. And he, is not just going to let any man come in and think that he's the boss right away. So there was an issue, and he said something about, can your son, stay with a relative for a little bit?
Wow.
And I said, oh, you mean, can we go stay somewhere? That's what you mean. And I packed my stuff right away. My sister came and got me and all my stuff. And because it took 2 cars, I had my car and she came with her car to get my stuff. And he brought my TV and stuff, all the bigger things he brought.
Where's all this money she said she had? You guys had to do a car and garbage bag move?
Can your son, he, is not just going to let any man come in and think highly way.
How did you get to?
Because my oldest son, I kind of more of an intimate setting. I feel like him and my oldest son clashed a little bit because, all of them were nice. But with him in particular, probably 3 gentlemen, but he was nice to my children. Very nice. Anything to make my life. Yeah.
So could you detail what that relationship? How did you meet that guy? How did things stage? Yeah, there was another gentleman.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we
go. And I believe
my bad, Joe.
In the girlfriend stage.
Yeah.
So could you detail what that relationship? How did you meet that guy? How did things kind of get started? And what exactly was the girlfriend stage?
We met online, and he just was, very consistent. He just wanted to do anything to make my life easier. What can I do for you? What do you need? Very nice and perfect gentleman, but he was nice to my children. All of them were nice to my children. Like if I met, there's probably 3 men that met my children. All of them were nice, but with him in particular, because we started to live together and, it was a little bit more of an intimate setting. I feel like him and my oldest son clashed a little bit because my oldest son, I kind of always let him be the little man of the house in a way. And he's very, very smart and highly intelligent child. And he, is not just going to
I'm
let
sorry,
anyone come
that's
in.
code for there's problems. Most people who've got bright kids, you don't even have to maybe it's just me, but if you got a bright kid and you know it and you're all the things and want to show it, you don't have, oh, he's so smart, he's so this and that. It's like I'm hearing behavior problems. You can do it. You can do it. Get them grades up. Girl, I'm hearing problems. I just don't. Most girl, most of us honor parents. Like, you don't have to tell people that your kids are smart, girl. When you say, look, I gotta go because we got honor society, baby, you already know what's going on with them grades. Okay. You don't have to say it, okay? Because that's that on that. Okay. I'm hearing
And think that he's the boss right away.
so he tries to own on you. So he's trying to, you put him in the position to be the man, but you keep doing parade of penises past your children. So you make little man feel like the man, but mommy can't stop trying to bring big dick energy into the house. So there is a behavior problem because we keep hearing this reoccurring. With the boyfriend, there was a problem with number one son. With the husband, there was a problem with number one son sending threatening messages. There were maybe some sort of altercation. So son is protective over you because you put him in a position that is not a child's place, but we're not going to get into that today. We're not talking about parenting on today, but you put him in a place where he feels like he has got to protect you, but you continue to want to parade a bunch of men in front of him and make him feel some type of way because mommy is being done some type of way because mommy is fugazi. Hello? Let me see what you guys are saying. Maybe I'm just making too many assumptions, but that's just what I'm hearing. Okay. You don't put children in you don't put a boy child in a man's place because he's not a man. He's not your husband. He's not the man. He is a child. You are robbing him of his childhood as a boy, thinking that he has to protect you as a man, and you expect him to not feel a way when you keep bringing home clown after clown after clown. It's a fucking clown show in your bedroom. And the boy gets he gets the bad brunt of it. And you got a fucking dog and pony show going on up in the house because you're busy trying to be something that you're not, which is a respectable grown-ass woman who is about her business. You are a clown on the clown show getting treated the way that these ninjas feel like they want to treat you, which is like slur number 5.
Oh, there was an issue and he said something about, can your son, stay with a relative for a little bit?
Wow.
And I said, oh, you mean can we, stay with a relative for a little bit? There was an issue and he said something about, can your son, stay with a relative for a little bit?
Your son, so specifically one son, not 2 sons. So, yeah, this is the second man that we've heard has problems with your son. So you're picking wrong, ma'am. Oh, one other thing. You guys remember on the dating site, she I don't think she said this in the video, but it was in one of her posts that when she first met her husband, on the because people were criticizing her about finding a PDF, right? A pedo. And I guess to her, in her mind, there's no way that, like, how did she attract something like that? Because on the dating site, she did not classify herself as a mom. She said she had no kids. So on top of that, and we've talked about this before, on top of that, ma'am was meeting men who were trying to meet females who didn't have kids. Like, if you paid to be on a dating site and you wanted a man with no kids, and you meet someone, you think they're nice, you go on a date with them, and date number 2 or 3, which I don't know the sequence of events of the disclosure that, oh, by the way, I have kids. And then all of a sudden you go on date number 2 or 3 and you find out homie the clown got 10 kids and 7 moms. Wouldn't you feel like, the fuck? That's not what I bargained for. You just met Future. You know what I'm saying? You just met Future. You just met Nick Cannon. You just met Cam Newton. You met Mr. Got Kids Here, There, and Everywhere. Mr. I got to go do my rounds on Thanksgiving, or I got to go pick up, like, I got 5 flights coming in to the airport. My posse of children are coming in. Wouldn't you be pissed? This chick was over there on the dating site and said she had no kids. So all these relationships started off wrong. The guy tried to make an effort with you. You said you had no kids. You end up moving in with him, and then he asked you to get a sitter, basically, or go send your kids off to be somewhere else. I mean, okay, whatever. I get that you wanted to stand up for your children, but at the end of the day, ma'am, you tricked him.
And I said, oh, you mean, can we go stay somewhere? That's what you mean. And I packed my stuff right away. My sister came and got me and all my stuff. And because it took 2 cars, I had my car and she came with her car to get my stuff. And he brought my TV and stuff, like all the bigger things he brought. I asked him to bring it back the next day. But I left and I went back to my apartment, which
a bitch with no money is always looking for a fucking TV, man. TVs cost $300, $400, even $1,000, however much your TV was, sis. To me, it's always a broke bitch who is always trying to figure out about their teeth. That's the first. They don't have anything. Girl, you worried about a damn TV? So some bum Dusty lets you put a TV. You went over to a man's house that didn't have TVs on every wall. Who doesn't have a TV on every wall that doesn't want to have a TV on every wall? Ain't nobody had you put their TV up on their wall. That TV was probably in the back of a closet. But it's always, you hear about some broke bum Dusty chick who is trying to hunt down a TV that she left over at some dude's house, like you fully decorated. Girl, you said you put all your stuff in 2 cars, a whole adult with 2 children, and you moved your life into some man's house. That's 2 cars worth. And he had to bring you a TV, the big things. What big things? You didn't bring furniture over there because you didn't have any.
Had to be out of soon, and I didn't plan to need to, do anything else because I thought the relationship was moving forward. I was his girlfriend, but he was taking very good care of me and he seemed like a good guy. But when he said that about my son, I said, no, it's all of us. It's all of us.
Well, but you were on the dating app as single. So what did you expect?
Left him. And I remember that night I was in the shower and I prayed and I said, God, I just want someone that's going to love me and my children.
So God answered your prayers and sent you Mr. Dowdy. Is that what can you please stop throwing slugs at all these innocent folk? God did not send you that. You know what God sent you? He sent you a test to see if you were ready. He sent you a test to see if you were ready, and you showed yourself unapproved. You went for the low-hanging fruit, and you're sitting here on the Hardly podcast, girl. The Hardly Initiated podcast, okay? He sent you a test, and now you sitting doing the testimony, okay? If God sent you the real deal, girl, you wouldn't even be talking to us right now. You would be too busy enjoying life and doing what you were supposed to do. You went and took that damn low-hanging fruit. You took the bait, and now you got a testimony. Okay?
That's what I want.
Now, I want to make
You
sure the
couldn't
audience is
wait
following us because
and went
we've
from
pretty
pillar to
much, I want
post.
to make sure we don't move too fast. But you have your second child, you're 21, 22.
Yeah.
Some additional time elapsed. Now you're 23 and you're on the dating market. Doing a bit of online dating when you initially meet your current husband,
Yes.
but things progress a bit, but not too much to where you still keep your options open.
The other guy was just more consistent. He was always there. He was always what do you need, so he just was prioritized.
Understood. Now, this gentleman that you're dating, you decide at some point you want to move in with him.
Yes.
And what was the living situation? Is it he's already has a place where he occupies and then you and your two boys move in? Okay, got you. And how long were you dating before the relationship ends?
I mean, we're moving pretty quickly. They're moving pretty quickly. I can't quantify a time. I can't remember exactly, but things moved pretty quickly. But he seemed like a good man, and I worked from home. So I always was able to keep an eye on my children. That was part of it. I was never leaving them with him. And no, I don't care if I have boys. I know people are crazy.
Okay. Okay,
sense.
your dad.
In hindsight, with you and the boys moving in with this gentleman, is that something that you think the typical single mother just has to kind of, be concerned with in terms of moving their children in with, somebody that they get to know? Does marriage and commitment, or what level of commitment should be taking place before a woman does something like that?
Back then, if you would have asked me that, I would have said, if a man's going to take care of you and your kids and that's a good man, take it. But now, it's hard to even have the words. You have to be so careful. Because they're not just doing this to stepchildren.
Okay, so look, girl, you have to be, nobody is running to pack their bags to go run and move into somebody's house. Are the girls even doing that anymore? I mean, I'm sure some are, but they're certainly not vlogging it. I don't see any vlogs of any of the girls out here packing their bags to go move into the next ninja's house. I have not seen that online. We know it happens because there are thirsty slores out here that don't have shit. They don't have credit. They don't have any money. They're stupid as fuck. And all they're doing is waiting for someone to come rescue their ass. Okay? But the girls are not out here waiting for a phone call and say, bitch, you want to move in and bring all your children with you? Are you kidding me? Who's doing that? Who's filming that? Who's talking about that? Nobody told you to be stupid. This is a young woman. She should have been about making her own money and handling herself and being a positive role model for her sons. Making your own coin. How is it that you're making your own coin and ready to pack a bag and go move and lay up in someone's bed all the time? All you wanted to be was a wife. All you wanted to be was taken care of. You can't convince me she got that from Shira 7. She wanted to be married. She wanted to take it to the next level. That's what she wanted, but you were targeting the wrong type of men. Because you are with the shits, you married somebody with the shits. Because you are a liar, you found a liar. Because you are disingenuous, you found somebody fugazi. That's your own fault.
They're doing this to their own children too.
And you're still wearing that man's ring. You're still wearing that man's ring. I don't know which ring that was, but that was one of the rings she profiled in one of her videos. She still feels the need to be phony and sit up here and wear the diamond ring that some clown bought you. Okay? You need to wear a diamond ring so bad. Take those rings and handle the business that you know and get a ring that doesn't mean anything. It means I'm done with him. But you're still wearing that ring. It doesn't mean anything. You're not rich. You're over here begging for GoFundMe money. aren't you getting food stamps and living somewhere now? Didn't you say you were going to have to get food stamps and government assistance and you're broke and he took your money and he took your 15-year-old Porsche?
And that's something that's just very scary and incomprehensible.
Girl, she better stop trying.
Understand.
Girl.
So now this situation that happens because now you're back in your apartment. You didn't expect to be here.
Yeah.
And it sounds like now we got some financial issues taking place.
Yeah.
And so what's the solution at this point?
It was crazy because when I prayed that night, he called me the next morning and it was random. Like I hadn't talked to him in a few weeks and, you know, he would check in every time, but he just wasn't a priority. But he said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, you know, just getting out of a.
I wish, this is my wish for people who love God and feel like they have to test God out all the time, because you don't. If you feel like God has to overtly answer every prayer, you got it wrong. You have it really wrong how he works. And my hope and wish for some people is to get God out of the Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy business, because that's not how it works. But they're expecting God to come through like boom on a dime. Okay. The universe and God will work in a way of confirmation. And what you ask for, you might need to show yourself approved. And at the end of the day, no one is sending you, God is not sending you a horrible husband that will violate your children. You chose that. Just because some man calls you and you wished upon a star, you call it praying, the night before, and want to put that off on what is actually possible and available, living your life right, that was not an answered prayer. That's not an answered prayer. But nobody wants to call her out on that. These guys, nobody wants to call her out on that. And I guess they're just collecting the facts at this moment. But at the end of the day, like, when is anyone going to just say, look, that wasn't an answer to your prayers. And God is not, you can't test God. If you're real, can you please have that Mercedes in my lot tomorrow? Come on now. What the hell is going on here?
Relationship, and, you know, it didn't work out. Him and my oldest son didn't mesh well. And he said, well, you know, I love your boys. You know, they're good boys. I mean, they're.
So the last guy didn't mesh
the way
well
my
with your
sons
kids,
responded to him when the 2 times that they had met him was very good. Was very good. And he seemed like a good guy. I mean, his parents own their own church, and he seemed to have all the values and all the right things and said all the right things. And I was like, you know, this is the only man that I feel like I've really been able to connect with God with. And that was something that was really powerful to me, because I feel like that was missing in, you know, any other relationships that I entertained. Is I didn't feel like we had a strong faith bond. And, you know, when you meet certain people and you just know that you can just talk about the Lord, it's okay just to talk about the Lord and how good God is, and just, you know. And I had that.
She manifested all of this drama and misery for herself.
That was definitely a part of the choosing. I prayed and I said, God, please give me a sign if this is right. And I feel like God gave me all the green lights. I feel like he did. And I still
you can't take responsibility, so you're gonna blame it on God. You feel that God, you prayed and you said it was all the green lights. Someone called you, someone ring a ding, 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 ding. Someone that you turned down the first time. You had an option between 2 guys, maybe more, but at least these 2. You went with the one who asked you to go find some place for your son to go live or go be for a minute. He was number 2 to number 1 who didn't work out. Number 2 calls you and you had just said a prayer and you didn't pray for the first guy, but you prayed on that second one because you're probably down on your luck. You probably had just moved back into someone's house. You probably don't have any money. You got these 2 kids and you are desperate. and you're making thirsty moves. So you get a call and you put 20 on 10 and think, this must be my ticket. You didn't show yourself approved and sacrifice and say, you know what, let me stay put over here on my sister's couch. Let me not move my children in with another man. Let me see and let me just see if he is approved. You moved in with him like the next week or two because you were desperate. And now you sitting up here with these two guys. Girl.
Still feel like he did. And I just didn't know that God wanted to use us.
It's like she's got vid or something. All she's doing is sniffling.
But that's just what ended up happening.
Do you
Sniffling
feel
and
like
wiping snot.
what he told you, or that love that he said he had? Do you feel like that was genuine love, or was that predatory?
I'm unsure because he didn't touch my boys. He did not. He did not. They've been interviewed. I asked them as soon as my daughter told me, and I always asked them, even before my daughter said that, because he's not their father. And I'll never trust a man 100% with my kids. I was always looking at him, even him.
She's weird. Who is it? I don't know. Is it harmful to ask your kids all the time? I ask them all the time. Has someone touched you? I think asking your kids questions like that all the time, I think would be like, I don't know if that's harmful or not. I don't know. I don't know.
Changing our daughter's diapers. He would even say, oh, you know, I don't feel comfortable changing them because they're girls. Why don't you change them? Play the role so perfectly. He knew everything to say, but I almost wonder.
Fathers who are about their father business handle that father business, and it's changing a diaper. There's weirdo women out here that do a lot of things to boys, but you're on your mother job. You're on your mother job. Like, just as much as you can say that about a man, you can say it about a woman, because there's a lot of very demented females out here. Okay? There is just a natural element within us that most people who are normal have no perversion towards their children or children in general. Children are not able to take care of themselves for a reason. And there are plenty of men who have raised female children, daughters, with no problem, nothing weird at all, ever. And I don't know. I do think it's strange to put this on men all the time, that they're all perverts, when we know that there are some women out here that are locked up and crazy, and have done lots of weird shit to children. I hate that for guys. But at the end of the day, this lady has been through a lot. So of course her thinking is not normal. So she's on high alert. But it's funny that someone who's on such high alert keeps getting it wrong. How is it that you're on such high alert, and based on what your experiences are, you just get it wrong time after time after time? You just know how to pick them. And then you want to blame God that that you had all the green lights, when really that might have just been a test. See, I don't know, because this story might not even be real. So I can't really say it was a test, but God is not going to send you a molester to have children with and have him take advantage of children. That's just not how it works. All right. I guess we're going to finish this up because we've been going for a long time, longer than I said.
Did he want children? Because he really wanted children. That was a condition of our marriage. It was a condition.
What do you mean a condition? That's something like he wrote it down, or
no? That's what he said. He said, you know, when we started talking about the marriage, and he said, you know, I just really want to have kids. You know, I haven't had any kids yet, and he's an older man, and I thought it was odd that he hadn't had any kids yet. But he said, you know, God just hasn't blessed me with kids yet, and I really, you know, want to have kids of my own. And I said, I'm willing to do that. I mean, if you're my husband, okay. And I wonder, was he did he have intentions? Because someone close to me said that sometimes predators like to grow their own prey. And that's a really sad thing.
She's sick. And only reason why I'm saying she is sick is because out of respect for your daughters, why are you like it's not even so much dragging their father, but you're really telling a lot of these girls' business, and they have to grow up with you running around and telling this story nonstop. And you got your problems with your husband. He didn't turn out to be a good guy. He's not someone that it's turned out bad. That's fine. But to continue to make a statement like that, I think was absolutely disgusting.
But there's stories of it.
Now, I want to go back just a bit because you have just moved out with your two sons back into your apartment, and now you're entertaining conversation, potentially dating again with your husband. How long after you moved into your apartment do you accept his invitation to now move in?
Within days.
Okay.
Within days. I mean, it was, I think that first conversation, like one of the first few conversations he was like, well, I told him what I was going through. And I said, I just need a place to stay for a little bit just to figure it out. And he said, well, if you come here, you're going to be my wife. And that was sexy to me. I was like,
Because
okay.
And I can imagine that because you in emotional turmoil at that time. Finances is just tricky just because you run into a bunch of unexpected things.
And he seemed
How
like
do
a
you
good
know,
guy.
sir?
He
How does sir
if
know?
I thought he was a crazy man, I would have never.
She might have just been flat
How
out
old were your boys
broke.
at the time?
5 and 2.
5 and 2.
Yeah.
The 5-year-old, and see, I know it had to be a lot for the young boys too, because they just were introduced to this other brother here.
Yeah.
And now they got to see this new guy. What did the 5-year? Did he express any concern or he just kind of going with the flow? 5 years old.
Honestly, we got married a week after that we started talking about the marriage, and at the wedding he said, "Can I call you dad now?"
Wow.
And he said, "Oh my gosh."
Because he's being raised by a pick-me mom.
And was his own father in his life?
Mom is a pick-me. Mom is a pick-me. So of course you're gonna raise pick-me kids. No offense, but you raising some pick-me kids. So the boy, you guys get married, and I'm sure kids learn a lot from TV. So maybe he's thinking, oh, okay, that's my mom's husband. Let me call him dad. So sir over here with the bald head is asking, did he have a father in his life? And let's hear.
Not like that.
Not really?
Not like that.
I get it. So
didn't you say he's still a friend? Earlier you said that he's still a good friend of yours. He's still a friend. Okay, so but it wasn't to your expectations. So you allowed your son, who has a father but may not be meeting expectations, you allowed him to call another man daddy because he's paying bills, he's good with the kids, he's a good earner.
He was excited to actually have somebody who can call dad in the family.
I thought it was one of the happiest days of our lives.
And that span from the time you moved in to the time you guys got married, how long was that?
From the time we got married and moved in?
Well, from the time you moved into his place?
I didn't live with him before we got married.
Oh, wow. So better question. From the time from that phone call you guys had to marriage, how long was that?
1 week. It was a week. Okay. It was a week. And I didn't live there until the day.
Okay. We didn't live together before we got married, but it was just a week. It was just a week, y'all. I stayed at my sister's house for a week. Okay? Baby, I stayed there for a week. Tyshawn is the bald one. Ryan is the other one. Girl, baby. Okay, guys, we're at let's try to go the 45-minute mark. Let's see where we get to. We'll finish this up. We'll finish this up. Okay. Not today though. We'll finish it up though. Baby, this is a whole mess.
Day after. I remember.
If you want to watch this for homework, the link is in the description box. Okay.
Stuff in the day before we were getting married. And I didn't sleep there. I went to the hotel that he booked for me and my sister. It's a very nice suite. We had a beautiful wedding reception. I mean, he threw it together. So he was just like, here, just do what you want to do.
You wanted to pussy.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Do you feel like if you had enough money in your bank account?
He probably got mad. He found out that she was not the woman that, I don't know. I got a hard time believing her. I have a hard time believing aspects of her story. I just know that there's a lie or two or three in there somewhere.
Oh. to comfortably pay rent and other things, would you have made that decision?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Probably yes.
Because I know sometimes, when money's tight, that has a lot. Finances just have a lot to do with our decision. Okay. To comfortably pay. If you had enough money,
beautiful.
If you weren't, you weren't a broke bitch,
if you had enough money in your bank account to comfortably pay rent and other things, would you have made that decision?
Probably yes.
Okay.
Probably yes.
Because I know sometimes, when money's tight, that has a lot. Finances just have a lot to do with our decisions.
But I was making good money. And that's why I said I only needed like a little bit of time to stay. Even if I was to stay with a family member, I mean, it just would have been a little bit because I was making good money working for my family. So I knew I would have been able to find something. I just hadn't had to plan to move so quickly.
Yeah.
And I moved my stuff in, went to the hotel. And the day after we got married, we went home.
Wow.
Started our lives.
And at that point, when you agreed to the marriage, if you could, give it on a scale to 1 to 10, how eager and excited were you to get married, and not to just get married to this particular gentleman, but just get married in general?
I was over the moon. I thought it was my fairy tale. It seemed almost too good to be true. I just kept praising God, how good God was, that this happened for me and my children, and we were finally a family, I thought.
And at this time, when you decide to make the decision and you go about, informing your family, how did they receive that information?
They were shocked. I actually made my husband come ask my ex. I made him come ask my mother for my hand.
Wow.
That was a requirement for me to marry him to me. And he did so, and he was very respectful and just said, "I'll take wonderful care of your daughter. She'll never have to worry. And her sons, they're mine now." And he said all the right things. And my family was there when we got married. I mean, I think they were like a little hesitant because of how quickly, but he seemed like he really loved me and my sons.
Was that the first time that you ever had a man to not only profess his love for you, but to also profess his love for your two boys at that time?
I would say that men always would try to be nice and, just because, but I felt like they wanted me. I'm going to be nice because I want her, not because it was genuine. I could tell he really wanted to be a dad.
Wow.
He really wanted to be a dad. And it just showed. It just showed. And everyone was so excited. He bought them all new toys. Picked out what beds do you want for them? Do you want to do their room? Whatever you want.
Also, he was very serious about getting everything set up.
That man at action. That is something women respect.
When was the point that you started seeing some signs that things might not have been right with him?
Girl, he probably caught her in some text messages or something.
Honestly, early on.
Probably caught her in a lie.
Not even a month, some girl, his ex.
Oh, wait a second. Didn't you say, okay, let me remember from her video. She said he raped her a couple of weeks into the relationship, right? So they're asking her straight up, when did you notice something was wrong? She said in her video, if you watch her video, there's a certain point you got to pay attention because she doesn't say it, but she posts it in the video that he raped her a couple of weeks into the marriage. But let's hear what her answer is here.
Honestly, early on, not even a month, some girl, his ex, showing up at the doorstep. And she was like, well, he was supposed to be with me because we got married so fast. So,
wow.
I guess she was maybe hanging around or I don't know. And she looked very, very, very young. But she was of legal age. I think she was 21, a few years younger than me. But she looked like a child.
Wow. So that was pretty much his type for the most part.
I told him, how can you be attracted to her? Because she doesn't have a body or anything. She looks so young. And he was just like, he wouldn't really say much. But I'm like, well, I guess she isn't.
Well, maybe he didn't know what you were talking about. You're standing there sizing up her body rather than, can you please handle your phone and address book and let them know that you're married and handle all your bitches, please? Can you put the word out to your females that there is a wife and children living in the house now, but you're worried about the lady's body? Do you see how stupid this chick is? Hello? So you marry a dude after a week and he has not handled the business. Don't I tell you guys all the time, you want your life to change? You want to be married? You want to give up your single life? You talking to 2, 3 guys? You better handle that business. You better make sure that phone's not ringing out of order. You better let people know that you're not serious that you're actually serious now, and it's over. It's over. You can't call me for that. Okay? And then you show them, not just tell them, you tell them and you show them by standing on your word, and you start to live different, and you will attract someone who wants a woman like you. Okay? So Homie the Clown is out here proposing marriage. He got females coming to the house unexpected. You just move your wife in, and this dim-witted ass chick is sitting up here. Ew, she don't have no body. Oh, he's 40 years old. I'm sure to some people that sounds old, but 40-year-old man, he's dating a 20-something-year-old woman, 21. That's his business. Look, you're 23, 24 at the time. You're no better. She's 21. You're 20 something. At the end of the day, she won 15. She won 15. You two are about the same age. And ma'am, you're coming with a bunch of kids that you started having at 17 years old. It's the same party. Okay. But you're worried about her body type rather than him handling his business as a man and letting the females know that he's no longer available. That's a problem to me. I wouldn't care what she looked like. Can you handle your hoes? I don't want to have to open up my door one more time and have someone looking for you. Thank you. Okay? That's what that's about. Come on now.
Adult. It's not illegal. I guess it's not weird, but to me,
you
it's
asked her
odd.
age?
Well, yeah, she told me how old she was. She just came. We talked for a little bit, and it was, yeah.
I mean, she shows up at the house.
Yeah, he wasn't there. She was sitting on the step when I.
You're with the shits. You just married the guy. You got your 2 kids. There's a female sitting on the steps at your house waiting for him. And you're going to sit there and talk to her?
Pulled up at home.
That was the first red flag.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then,
hey, babe, there's some lady on the steps. I don't know who. Hey, who are you? Baby, there's some chick named sitting on the step. Can you handle this business, please? I'm getting ready to pull into the garage.
then did it get progressively worse, or did it get better after that?
He was very controlling very early on. I remember actually the day we got married, I started seeing how insecure he was. He always thought I was looking at other men, like just imagining it seemed. Or maybe not even imagining it, maybe just trying to scare me into not ever thinking about doing it. I don't know.
And this is a man who has already expressed that he wants to grow a family. He wants to have children outside of the 2 young boys you already have.
Yes.
How would you describe your sexual relationship?
With him?
Correct.
Vanilla, normal, seemed like a normal guy. He wasn't.
So nothing.
No, he just, like, I never would think that this man would do this stuff. He hid it so well. Even, if I saw him watching adult videos, it was grown women that look like me. I'm like, okay, well.
Men who just have a brand new wife and they're sitting and watching pornography. Okay, we'll stop right there, guys. 4814. We'll come back to this. If you guys want us to finish up this video, let me know down in the comments. But at the end of the day, baby, what guys, and I don't know. I'm not, look, there's men out here that like pornography, but I mean, you guys just got married. I don't know. I can't even really speak to that. I'm going to be honest. I don't have any, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Y'all just got married. You're jumping right into life. No honeymoon. Mommy's got 2 kids. So you guys got to get back to business. You guys had a shotgun wedding. You guys went back to the house. Homeboy got bitches at coming to the house to come see him. He has not put the word out yet to anyone who's got his address. Don't come here because my wife is crazy. I just got married. It's been nice knowing you, and I'll see you next lifetime. Nothing of that nature. He just brings home a woman and 2 children and just keeps it moving. This is funny to me, okay? This story is kind of funny, and it's amazing how stupid she is. Anyway, and instead of thinking there was a problem with him not girl, and the red flag is the girl sitting on the steps. What about the red flag that you said he raped you right after y'all got married? I thought he was a man of God. Okay, guys, this has gone on long enough. All right, we are going to talk Sarah Boone, guys. You guys, Sarah Boone wrote a very nasty letter to Judge Cranick. I think I got like 10 emails last night. I was like, I got alerts on Orange County. Okay, so it's like when I was on YouTube last night, like the whole Sarah Boone community had gone live last night. The whole sector that covers Sarah Boone, everybody was live last night talking about it. So I was just like, okay, I'll holla. I will talk to y'all in the morning. Okay. Anywho, yes, she did. Okay, guys, we're gonna come back to this. We will come back and we'll finish it up. If you guys want to hear the rest of the lies, we may as well, right? I feel like ISIS will be back sooner than later. ISIS is trying to soft come back to YouTube, and I think she is foolish. And these guys, we'll have to go read the comments. Go read the comments, guys. The link to the video is in my description box, and we'll start back. Let me remember. We are at the 4814. Okay, we're at 4814, and we'll come back to it maybe tomorrow or something, or on the weekend, and finish this up and see how it ends. There's a psychologist, and let me not, I don't know. They call her Dr. something, Dr. Spirit or something like that. I don't know what her credentials are, so forgive me. I don't know if she's a psychologist or what her credentials are, so forgive me for that. I don't want to say something wrong, but there is someone who they bring on who is appears to be a counselor, and they are going to, and I don't know who these other people are. There's maybe people that come and ask questions. I don't know. We'll see what's going on here. I might watch some more and see where we might need to dip in, dip out, because I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, we'll figure it out. And that's it. Okay. Does anyone have anything else? I thought he was a man of God. Oh no, she didn't. Oh, she did. Yeah. Girl, it's 28 pages. And the way I felt last night, I was just like, girl, I am not reading that awful handwriting. 28 pages. No, ma'am. I'm okay. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, guys, let me let y'all go. This was fun. Make sure on the replay, go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me. I really appreciate it because likes do count, likes do matter, and it helps get me circulated around this here internet. Anyway, guys, you guys have a wonderful day. This was so much fun. I love talking to you guys. Have a good one, and I will see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the latest.
By the way, friend, I respect you as a reactor. By the way, friend, I respect you as a reactor. By the way, friend, I respect you as a reactor. This is all about clout.